Welcome to the Under Construction Podcast with me, Martin Williams. Here we talk about how to build or rebuild your life one step at a time. Let's get to work. Thank you for tuning in to the Under Construction Podcast. My name is Martin Williams. Don't forget to subscribe to the podcast. You may do so on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, and SoundCloud. All the links to the podcast can be found at guidedexpressions.com/podcast with an S. Today, my subject is the process, right? So I should probably look through my history of my podcast and see if I've already talked about this. I may have, but I wanted to, if I did, I want to add some more to it, right? So I wanted to kind of expound on it if I have talked about it already, and if I haven't, then it's all new. So it works out either way. So as I've talked about on several podcasts, I'm working on this course called The Blueprint. It will drop in February of this year, February 2021. I'm very excited to finally get it out into the world for people to, see their lives change because of it. I can't wait. And one of the revelations that I got in working on the Blueprint is really how the mind works and really how the process works, right? So, we were taught growing up, at least I was, and a lot of people were, it's that, we got to chase after a goal, right? Let's say that we want to get a job, or, maybe we want to go to a graduate school, or, we want a house, we want a car, and all these things, right? We learn that we got to chase after something in order to get it, right? And, the way you chase after it is, working long hours, sacrificing and doing all these different things. And, there's some validity to that, right? There's some, it's valid. Right? I'm not saying it's 100% wrong. It's just that the order is wrong, right? And we spend a lot of energy to live a good life, especially in America. And sometimes it comes at the cost of, your health, your relationships, your peace of mind, right? And it's really not the path that I believe our Creator wants us to travel, right? So when we come to Earth, we're given a mind, right? And this mind is basically able to create whatever it is that we want, right? You don't need to be born into a trust fund family. You don't need to be born into, the perfect situation because you have a mind. And we all have one, right? The problem is that a lot of people don't use their mind, right? At least they don't use it at the level that they should be. And really, the problem is that most of us aren't taught to really how to use our minds, right? But if you have your mind and you have control of your mind, as Napoleon Hill said in Think and Grow Rich, if you have the control of your mind, right, you have the key to change your life and create the life that you want. You don't have to feel down or feel like you got the short end of the stick because of whatever home situation you grew up in or whatever part of the world you grew up in or what have you. Like, you don't have to feel that way because you have your mind and you have control of it, right? So what does that, how does that correlate to what I'm talking about with the Blueprint? Well, it's very simple. If there's anything that you want, whatever goal that you are going after, right, you first have to attain the goal within your mind, right? So I'm just going to use money because it relates to everyone, right? So let's say that you want $100 for something, right? Maybe you want to get something fixed. Maybe the screen on your phone is fixed, needs to be fixed, right? It's cracked. And it's going to cost $100 to get it fixed. Okay, great. So, you've paid out all your bills. There's nothing left. And you got a cracked screen still. So you need $100 to get that screen taken care of. Okay? So, all right. So how do you do that? Well, it's simple. You could wait until you get paid in 2 weeks. But, I mean, that's 2 more weeks with a cracked screen. Like, I don't want that, right? So you decide, all right, I'm going to get this screen fixed by Friday, and today is Tuesday, right? I'm recording this on a Tuesday. So by Friday, I'm going to get that screen fixed, right? Where's the money going to come from? Don't know, don't care. But Friday, I'm getting it fixed, okay? So in your mind, right, you've made a decision, okay? You've made a decision to get the screen fixed by Friday, this coming Friday, okay? Once you've made that decision, the mind says, okay, headquarters has made a decision. We're getting the screen fixed by Friday. So now we got to start figuring things out. And your mind has a way to figure out how to get the $100, right? Now, while it's working, okay, you've already decided, right? And once you make a decision, we automatically see ourselves with the result of our decision, right? So once you've made that decision, the mind already starts constructing pictures of you having a working screen, right? So you go along with that and you start visualizing that screen being fixed, right? We're not concerned about the $100 yet. We're focused on the end result, okay? Because money is a means to an end, right? And too many times we focus on the means and not on the end, right? When you focus on the end, the means takes care of itself, right? So you focus on that screen being fixed, right? You focus on the screen, okay? And as you're doing that, the mind is cooking up a way to get that $100, right? And then you wake up in the morning and, your mind directs you. You have this inspiration to go to this website. And it's a offer up website, or it's one of these websites where you can sell stuff, right? And you look around your apartment or your house and you see all these different things that you're not using, right? You see this, you see this appliance, like somebody gave you a gift, right? And you're not using it. Or, someone gave you a gift card, right? And, it's $25 and you forgot you had it, right? And, you look in your drawer and it's like, hey, I got a $25 gift card for, a Visa gift card. So you could use that, right? You can use it. So you are already $25, further ahead than you were a day ago, right? And then you find some stuff that you could sell and you put it on Marketplace, and someone right away says, hey, I got, I can give you $50 for that. So then, that's $25 left, right? And so now you got to decide, okay, do I take money out of the bank for that? And it's just $25, but, you're trying to prove a principle here. So you leave the money in the bank and, you say, hey, I'm going to go, I'm still, I still made my decision. I stand by my decision. I'm getting that screen fixed by Friday, right? I stand by my decision, right? So, you've sold some things, you found some money here, and then you decide, okay, I'm going to put out an ad to write someone's resume, right? And I can write a resume for $50, so I put that ad out. And then one of your friends says, you write resumes? It's like, yeah, I write resumes. So I need my resume rewritten. It's like, how much do you charge? It's like, well, typically I charge $100, but I'll do it for you for $50. It's like, great. So you do their resume for $50, right? and you've got your $100. And actually, you could take that $25 gift card and use it on something else, right? So look at how quickly everything came to happen. Excuse me. Look how everything kind of fell in place when you made a decision. And that's really the blueprint in a nutshell. You made a decision that you're going to get your screen fixed, right? And then everything just kind of fell in line. Everything, you were led to different situations. You were led to sell some things that you weren't using anyway. You were led to find a gift card that you didn't even know you had. You were led to write a resume for someone and post it, and and to get a response. So, if it'll work for a cracked screen, it'll work for a house, it'll work for a car, it'll work for, it'll work to get into graduate school, it'll work for a relationship, it'll work for anything, right? You have to get it in your mind first. Your mind is only creative, okay? Your mind's number one job is to create, okay? That's why you shouldn't rely on your memory so much, because, you want to free up your mind to create new things, right? Write down the stuff you need to do on a piece of paper or write it in an app or something, but don't keep it in your mind. You want to use your mind to create new stuff, right? To create new situations, to create new paradigms, okay? But in no way do you have to struggle to get anything in life. You don't have to, because, we were created to, basically take a goal, whatever it is, and, decide that we're going to get it. And then, you basically hold on to that decision even when things don't look so hot, right? You may say, well, I'm going to, I need something bigger than a cracked screen. I need a business that can take over for my job, right? That's fine. So you make a decision that in 6 months from now, you're going to be a full-time entrepreneur, and that you're going to work less hours than you're working at your regular job, so you can have more time to rest and to create and to spend time with your family, right? To work maybe half as much but make twice as much as you did at your job. And so you make that decision, and then what happens is that all kinds of ideas start popping up, right? And you could probably do any of them and get to your goal. The problem is that a lot of people, they make that decision and then the ideas start coming and then they just don't do it, right? And if you don't do it, then you lose it, okay? So that's the other part of the blueprint, is that if you wanted to get the cracked screen fixed, at the moment that you made a decision, you had a working screen. That's all I want you to understand. The moment that you made a decision to get it fixed, you had a working screen already. You had it, okay? You're not chasing after a working screen. You have it already. You have it in your mind already, okay? But you've got to go through the process in order to keep it, okay? It's kind of like football, right? The running back, gets the ball from the quarterback, right? And starts running through the defense. As long as he doesn't get tackled, and as long as he doesn't lose the ball, he's going to score, right? His job is, number one, don't get tackled. Number two, don't lose the ball. So in the same way, when you make your decision and you get your, whatever your goal is, you get it in your mind, at that point in time, you have it. You have it right then. But your job is to not lose it. And the way you don't lose it is that you go through the process, right? So, you want to have that business. So what do? You say, okay, I'm gonna start doing this. I'm gonna start doing, I'm gonna start putting out content, and I'm gonna put out a course, and I'm gonna put out products, And, I'm just going to go through the process, right? But I've already got it. So I'm not worried about whether the courses work or not. I'm not worried about whether whether I get 1,000 followers or not. That's irrelevant. There are people on Instagram who make millions of dollars and have less than 1,000 followers. Okay, it's irrelevant to your goal, right? So you hold on to that goal, and soon it's like peeling back an onion, right? It's like peeling back the layers. It's like more and more things start coming up, more and more ideas start coming up, more and more signs that you're getting close, right? When you're driving to New York on the road for a long while, you don't see any sign of New York. And then when you start, when you go up the New Jersey Turnpike and you start getting to like exit 13, you pass by Newark Airport. And on the right-hand side, you start seeing the buildings of New York. You start seeing the Freedom Tower and the Empire State. And you start seeing all these different buildings. And the closer you get, the more you see. The more of New York you see. And then when you go into the Lincoln Tunnel, you're basically in the city. Like, you see so much before you. It's one of the more prettier sights, right? But my point is, the closer you get, the more of your goal that you're going to see manifest, right? If you just keep going. You got to go through the process. Most people don't do that. Remember, the Bible says faith without work is dead, right? You can have faith, but if you don't put any work to it, it dies. And most people lose their goals, they lose their dreams, not because they never got them, they got them, right? The dream is very precious, but you got to hold on to the dream in your mind until it manifests, and then it becomes reality. So I'm going to talk more and more about that in the blueprint. So I hope you can take part in that and get it. I think it'll help you tremendously. And for now, I'm going to let you go. Thank you so much for listening to the podcast. Please like, comment, subscribe, and share, and I'll talk to you soon. Don't forget to subscribe to the Under Construction Podcast on Spotify, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, and SoundCloud. For more information on Guided Expressions courses and products, go to guidedexpressions.com/products.